would like to say there are certain criteria that people usually look out for when choosing the next of kin. Um, is the person trustworthy? Is the person available? So if you have that at the back of your mind, then who is suitable for that situation or circumstance becomes clearer or easier for the person to decide.
Hello and welcome to another episode of your favorite show, Gist HQ. Here we bring you gist from across Africa and a lot more. Fasten your seatbelt, guys. It's going to be an exciting ride. Welcome back. So today we're going to be discussing about next of kin. We're going to be understanding the concept of next of kin. There's a lot of misinformation and misconception about the term next of kin. A lot of people have asked if one's next of kin has to be related to them by blood. How do you even choose your next of kin? To talk about this, I have two amazing guests here with me. I have Mrs. Rosemary Otalo. She is a PR, brand and marketing professional. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I have Mr. Felix Ogwezi. He is a life coach. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Felix. What does the term next of kin mean and why is it important to individuals?
Okay, thank you for that great question. So, by definition, next of kin is your blood, is a blood relative or someone that legally is connected to you. So, what that means is that, for instance, there are cases of adoption. So, when you adopt a child, legally that child can become next of kin. So next of kin could be your spouse, it could be your children, it could be your adopted children, it could be even your parents. So that is it. And so next of kin is very, very important because there are cases where the person is incapacitated and you need somebody to make that decision for you. So in a case where you cannot make decision, maybe a medical decision, maybe there's something relating to some things that they can't assess you, or there are cases where somebody needs to identify you. The person that you chose as your next of kin is the person they will contact. There are times they need to make some critical decision and they need somebody to make that decision. Once it's documented that you are the next of kin, of course, that's the person they'll reach out to.
So, Mrs. Rosemary, who is the most suitable person for a next of kin?
Thank you for the question. So the most suitable person will differ, person by person. I would like to say there are certain criteria that people usually look out for when choosing the next of kin. Is the person trustworthy? Is the person available? So if you have that at the back of your mind, then who is suitable for that situation or circumstance becomes clearer or easier for the person to decide. Sometimes it can be your kid, it can be your spouse, it can be your parents, your siblings, brothers, sisters. It can be anybody legally connected to you, like you said. So adoption, if you're adopted daughter, son, and then can be your spouse, we forgot to mention that spouse because by marriage that person becomes your legal companion, and then of course naturally that person should be suitable for the next of kin. But we've seen instances where people are still married, but they still decide to use their parents or their brothers as their next of kin. Again, trust, availability, all those things come to play.
So, what informs that decision? What makes you pick a person as your next of kin? Does it have to do with trust, or you feel that the person is going to make the right decision? The person thinks like you.
Yeah.
What makes you pick, or you just pick?
So again, back to those criteria I mentioned, like you already said, you want to pick someone who, when you are incapacitated, can make a decision for you. You want to pick someone who, if you're not available, for instance, can step in and again, most of them make that good decision for you. I wanted to say, if you are, dead, for instance, someone who can inherit, but I'm not a lawyer, but I do that. There's a difference between next of kin and beneficiary. Sometimes people don't know that there are differences.
Sure.
You can be next of kin and you might not be the beneficiary. So, that aside. But so those are the things that people will consider. If you're married, you have kids, and you have maybe insurance policies and all that, and you have the best interests of your kids at heart. You might not necessarily make them your best of kin. You might want to use your wife, knowing full well that nobody will be in a better position to take care of your kids when you're not around. So those are the kind of thinking that would inform those kind of decisions. Some people say, you know what, I don't trust my wife. I know she's after my word. My next of kin will be my brother because my brother is my blood. They say my brother is my blood. My wife, I married her, but my brother is my blood. So I'd rather allow my brother be my next of kin than my wife. Again, I feel very strongly that trust is at the basis of most of the decisions as to who your next of kin should be. That's my opinion.
What do you think, Mr. Felix?
Yes, I want to align with her thoughts. Honestly, I agree with all she said. And the truth of the matter is that it's about belief system. So what do you believe? Some people at the back of their mind, just like you rightly said, believe, oh, my brother, my siblings will be able to protect my interests more than my wife. I've seen cases people say that if my wife dies today now, if I die today now, my wife may move with another man, and at the end of the day, I'm the one that is losing. So it's about belief system, and it still boils down to issue of trust. So when I always tell couples that you must have, these are conversations. At times, most people don't have this conversation, but this is the reality. Because so you will not be caught unaware. So you both sit down, have this conversation. And I have always believed, and this is my own personal belief, that when you're starting a family, a nuclear family, you're starting, like the way I see it, family is a system. You're starting a new nation. So at the end of the day, you must do things that will protect your interest of that nation. Yes, you are from an extended family, and you have played your part in that extended family. But everything that will help this nuclear family to grow and nourish is needed. So you need to make that decision. Like you rightly said, I want to agree that the ideal person at this point in time is your spouse. Because at the end of the day, you are both building this nuclear family.
Okay, so thank you very much. We are going to go on a break, and then when we come back, we are going to continue from where we stopped. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We are still discussing about the concept of next of kin. So, I still have my amazing guest here. I'm going to read a story I came across online about a next of kin making a decision, a seemingly wrong decision. So, my sister met a guy in school who was much older than her. She had to convert to become a Jehovah's Witness to marry him. While she was 21, the guy was 36. We had our reservations, but we wanted her to be happy. He was very religious, so we trusted him to take care of her. Eventually, they got married, bought a house, and she got pregnant. We're all very happy for her, and then sadly, we got a call that she had complications and went into labor. My brother-in-law, as her next of kin, was asked to choose between saving the children and saving her. He chose the twins because of his religion and advice from elders. He refused even to allow blood transfusion, which could have possibly saved her life. As much as I love my nieces, I can't help but have animosity towards my brother-in-law. We now don't speak and is now estranged from the family. We hardly see the twins. In my mind, I feel that he could have chosen my sister because they could have had other children. So what do you think about the story? The next of kin made a choice. Do you think that choice was what the lady would have wanted and what the family would have wanted at that particular time? I'm sure she trusted him enough to put him as the next of kin.
Well, that is a very unfortunate situation, and it's a tough one. And in fact, I'm almost sounding sober already. But the truth of the matter is this: beliefs are very powerful, very powerful. And that's why when we are coaching, one of the things, if we want to bring about transformation, one of the things we look at is what are your beliefs and what are your values. When we're able to address your beliefs and values, then everything would, the transformation would just go in a different way because we are addressing a core area. And beliefs involves emotion. So we all know about Jehovah's Witness belief. So the question is, now the lady was converted into a Jehovah's Witness. So that means that she also believed in that issue or whatever. She believed in it. And so there's what we call substituted judgment. So what does that mean? So before I make a decision, so when somebody is incapacitated, I want to make a decision, I put myself in that person's shoes and say, if that person was me, is it this kind of decision this person will make? So if based on belief system, there's a tendency that the lady will make that decision. If based on maybe when the lady was alive, well, was there a similar issue that happened like that? What was her stand? You understand? So these are some of the things we need to consider. And so, but the truth of the matter is that, because it's an emotional issue, one would have expected, if you are rational, is to carry the family along, get the family involved. Oh, this is the decision we want to make and all that. Because truly, one of the stages of grieving is anger. And when people are grieving, they look for somebody to transfer the anger on. So unfortunately, that's why it's very difficult for the family to relate with the guy. Because as far as they are concerned, somewhere in their mind, this guy killed our sister. Somewhere of their mind, it chose these twins over our sister. And they see those twins somewhere subconsciously as the cause of their pain. So that's why when making a decision, it's important we look at it from all angles. Look at it, and you don't just make decision just for now. You're looking at 10 years from now. What will happen from this decision? But the truth of the matter is that I'm very, very careful in commenting on this matter because it's a sensitive issue. And that's because of belief is involved. And so maybe based on that belief that the lady, this is our belief, this is our stand, that was why he made that decision.
So,
Really, as in, I just want to look at the facts, and the figures. He touched on certain things that, I would say I also agree. Okay, so let's look at it logically. Who made the decision, the next of kin? Was it right to be the next of kin? Yes, it was the husband and the spouse. At that point in time, the husband and wife become a nuclear family. Decisions that they take is theirs and theirs alone. Emotions apart, you know. You don't go running to your extended family when there are issues. That should be the norm. You should be able to deal. So they are independent, or they should be independent of decisions from external parties because they are an entity, a system. Yeah. So was he the best person to be the next of kin? They just married, yes. There will always be beliefs, there will always be values. And like you have already captured, and I don't really want to touch on that. He made the decision based on the beliefs that they both share. Because they are from the same faith, right? Probably the lady won't have, wanted the blood transfusion, wouldn't have wanted the things that they know. I mean, they shared the same faith. She was a convert. She understood what it was that the religion entailed. So it was a good decision. True and true. He did nothing wrong. However, because we are humans, and because there is the thinking that maybe she had, like the brother said, if he had saved the sister, then maybe they would have. What if they didn't have other children? Would he have lived with them in their house, in the sadness and in the sorrow that they'll be going through, thinking maybe they at least, maybe if they had done what their religion had entailed, maybe they wouldn't be there. You know, things are not always black and white. So there are a lot of things that might have happened, you know, that would have. It is a very sad story, but if you look at it rationally, if you look at it without emotions, devoid of emotions, what he did, was it right in terms of the religion, in terms of the value system, in terms of the lady's religion and value system, in his capacity as his next of kin? He did all right. However, the only thing I would have said, which I feel wouldn't have really made much difference really, was the communication part. What if he had told the family this is what he wants to do? So that, I mean, they would say no. So would he have stopped? That is his belief. And beliefs are powerful. You know, they are powerful. So if he goes to tell them, what would have been the outcome? They say, no, Lila, you can't. Legally, he's next of kin. They really wouldn't have been able to do much. And that's the truth. Or maybe he would have been able to appease them to an extent. And then giving them some sort of hope to say, you know, this is what we want to do. Let's keep praying, maybe she would survive and all that. And you know what communication does now? At least they feel like they were involved. There will be the sense of involvement in that decision making, as opposed to what they are feeling now. Like he didn't come to them. He isn't supposed to come to them. He's not obligated. With the simple fact that the lady is his wife and he is the next of kin. He did all based on his legal, he was the agency of that lady, and he did that in his capacity. But emotionally, he should have gone to the family, you know, told them what he wanted to do. Again, time, you know, what if there was no time? So a lot of things come to play. It's a very sad story, but that would be my own stand. I think the guy did what he thought was right in his faith, according to his value system, according to his, and according to the wife's belief as well. So they should make peace. And going forward, what they need to do is make peace so that they can at least be in the lives of the twins. Yeah. You know, and not hold grudges forever.
Okay, so don't you think that maybe she would have given the marriage a little more time before she made her husband next of kin?
I don't think so. So at that point, it might not necessarily be that they have like a written documentation other than their marriage, certificate and all that for the guy to be the next of kin. It might not, if the marriage is new, they most likely won't have any needs. Sometimes people don't really, except you have a lot of properties and you already have the foresight of your will and all that. That's when people deliberately or intentionally want to have legal requirements. Okay, next of kin, beneficiary, this one, that one. If they just newly married, chances are there isn't any legal thing yet. So naturally, your spouse is in the best position to be your next of kin. You know, so if so, she was in the hospital because I really want to keep it to the case study. She was in the hospital, incapacitated at that point, right? The best possible next person who was there, trust, availability, something all those criteria, was the husband, and he was there, and he took that decision. I don't think there was anything wrong with that. It's as simple as that.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. I would like to know your own reactions to my story. So keep a date with me every week on this channel so that you get notified when I post a video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you very much to my amazing guests. Thank you. It is always a pleasure having you. Until I come your way again next week, it's bye-bye for now.